Good afternoon, everyone. It's so nice to have you all here. And I'm Anupma. I am from the Kenwood brand and social team. And so happy to see so nice turnout for the event. And without any delay, we will start today's Kenwood Masterclass with Richmond Baker. We have Chef Christiane with us. She is a trained German chef who has been renowned in this part of the world. And she's worked across all the big names in the hotel industry. And after that, she started a second stint with Richmond Baking School, and she's the head of faculty there. So let's get going without any delay. She will do, I think, 2 recipes for us today. And then the house is open for the questions you want to ask, any baking tips you want to get from her. And yeah, let's get it going. Yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the demo we do with Kenwood and Richmond Master Baker. As Anuba has just said, my name is Chef Christiane. I'm the head of faculty of Richmond Master Baker, which is a baking and pastry school in GLT. So we don't do any savory cooking classes. We only focus on the sweet stuff of life. So everything that is like chocolate and sugar and cakes and all the beautiful stuff, ice cream, everything that everyone loves. So that's my specialty. I'm doing this for the last 25 years. As you just heard, I originally trained as a chef, savory chef, in Germany for 3 years, and then I specialized into pastry. And once I have decided that sugar and chocolate is my world, I started traveling around the world with sugar and chocolate in my little rucksack. And I worked for 5-star hotels all over the world, from the Intercontinental in Beirut in Lebanon. That was like my first interaction with the Middle East, and I kind of fell in love with Middle Eastern hospitality. So after that, I came to Dubai the first time. I left Dubai, I went to Jordan, and I came back to UAE. And since I think 11 years now, the UAE is my home. I have worked in the UAE and opened the Waldorf Astoria in Ras Al Khaimah, what was at this time the first Waldorf Astoria in UAE. I've been in charge of all the Hilton hotels in the Northern Emirates. I've been the key pastry trainer for Hilton hotels, Waldorf, Conrad hotels for the Arabian Peninsula and Africa. I also opened Palazzo Versace, just opposite here. And after that, I started focusing on training. So I felt like there's a huge demand here in the country where people have a lot of questions about baking and pastry, and everybody always says like, oh, baking is so difficult, cooking is so much easier, I can just throw everything in the pot. So, and I'm here to prove you wrong. Because it's so much easier than you think. So in order to start, first of all, you have a nice goodie bag from Kenwood and Yashamal here, and I see there's some beautiful things in. There's a recipe book for the Kenwood chef. In the recipe book, you will see a lot of different recipes. Also in the back, you see all the different attachments that you can get for the machine. It has like endless possibilities. And when I started working as a teacher about 6 years ago, when we opened Richmond Master Baker, I equipped the whole school. I even choose the color of the wall tiles, so it's really my baby, and every time I walk in I think like, oh, it's perfect. It's like my dream kitchen. And without even knowing Kenwood or working with Kenwood, I choose these machines, and they run in my school for the last 6 years without any interruption. So I'm a big fan of these Kenwood machines, and I'm not just saying that because I'm here today. You can come to my school, you will see these machines on every single table, so I have a lot of them. So here is some recipes and the attachments that you can find for the machines. And if you want to learn more and what you can do with the machine and more about baking and pastry, we also have a little voucher in here from Richmond Master Bakers. So if you scan the QR code on the bottom, it will give you access to 2 months free online classes. In the online class, you will see more of me trying to explain everyone at home how to bake and cook. You will also see me using a lot of these machines because, as I said, it's my preferred choice. Also in your goodie bag, most important thing for pastry, a scale. Because that's the only difference. When you do savory cooking, everything goes like in the pot. It's a bit of this, a bit of that. In baking and pastry, you have to be a little bit more precise, so we need a scale. This scale is a very nice, accurate digital scale. So it's also in your goodie bag, very, very useful. And of course, a water bottle. because in Dubai you need to stay hydrated. It's hot outside. So you see, I also have my water always handy here. And what I decided for today to show you is 2 very simple recipes that you can really easily make at home. And please, if you have any questions in between, just raise your hand, interrupt me, right? You don't have to wait until the end of the session. If you feel there's anything, like, raise your hand and we can talk about it. Also, the recipes I've chosen for today are not just simple, they're also fresh, because it's still like 45 degrees during daytime, right? We're still suffering a bit under the weather. So I love chocolate, and I thought first, let me do something with chocolate, but I thought, like, okay, with 45 degrees, nobody wants to eat like heavy chocolate. So maybe next time I do the chocolate. So today I focus more on fresh fruits and healthy stuff and a bit lighter stuff. So we're going to start with a homemade granola. So super, super, super simple. It literally takes you 10 minutes to make it yourself, and I promise you it's so much better than anything you find in the supermarket. It's super easy to make at home for your kids. It's easy to fill like in little jars or something, and even use it at the school when you make lunch boxes for your kids or anything for school. In here with a little bit of yogurt, super healthy and easy to make snack, and also nice for breakfast. The second recipe we're going to make is like a French tart with the sablé breton, where I will talk a little bit about what it is and where it comes from. And also again with fresh fruits, so it's not too heavy, and a bit vanilla cream, so it boosts the flavor. And of course all of it you can try. I want you to try and tell me what you think. So, and before I keep on talking, let me just start. So the first thing we're going to do is the granola. As I said, it's super, super simple. I have the scale here. The Kenwood chef is as easy to operate as the recipe is to make. So there's different ingredients in that recipe. We have oats as the main ingredient. So I have 2 different types of oats. I have the rough oats and the fine oats, right? So from the rough oats, I have 250 gram that I'm just going to put into my mixer. And from the fine oats, I have 100 gram that I'm also just going to add in it. Also, the machine has a scale built in. So it's very, very easy for you to just scale the ingredients directly into your mixing bowl. So you don't need to worry about anything. And then I just press 0 in between again. Then I use brown sugar. I prefer it, if possible, to crystal sugar. It's a bit healthier. And you see it's not a big amount. I'm just using 75 gram. That's it. Sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds I'm going to use as well. So you see loads of different nuts in that recipe. Nuts are generally healthy. A lot of people always say like, oh, but nuts has a lot of fat. It's true, there's oil in nuts, but it's actually very healthy for your body. It's nothing to be scared of. So the sunflower seeds, the pumpkin seeds in, 100 gram of each, 100 gram sunflower seeds, 100 gram pumpkin seeds. Then I have walnuts and I have pecan nuts, 50 gram of each, 50 gram, 50 gram. Now, if you prefer any other nuts, you can just exchange it. Or if you say, oh, I don't like walnuts at all, just take it out and put 50 gram more of pecan nuts or any other nuts. It's absolutely not a problem. You see, the Kenwood machines, they have like loads of different attachments. You can go now and chop this by hand, or you can just go very quick and easy and put it in the attachment. And it does the job for you. Now, you see, just swap one for the other. That's it. No, I need to be able to reach it. And that goes in there as well. Quick and easy. Then the next nuts we have is pistachio sticks. First of all, everyone likes pistachios in this region. It's a very famous nut, right? It also gives a nice color because the green inside just adds a bit color to it. 50 gram almond sticks I also put inside. And as I said, if you said, oh, I don't like almonds or I don't like hazelnuts, or just take any other nut or increase. And 50 gram hazelnuts. So we have all the different nuts in here now. So it's an explosion of flavor, you will see later. And then we have dry fruits, because each granola that you find in the supermarket usually has a bit dry fruits in. So I have dried cranberries, dried apricots, and raisins. I'm not going to add this right now. I will tell you why. Because we're going to bake this. And when you bake it, the dry fruits in the oven, they will become black and very hard. It's not pleasant anymore if you eat it afterwards. So leave them on the side, and we only add them later. And then I have honey. Natural honey, a very nice natural sweetener, and I'm going to add that into the mix as well. So far very simple and easy, right? Just everything in a pot. It's like cooking, just everything in the pot. The only thing is, like, you can't go like this, you need to scale it. But scaling, super easy, because the machine does it for you, so also not a big problem. So now you have different attachments for the machine. This one is usually to cream some batter, to cream butter and sugar together, or make like a pancake, but this kind of things. But it's also very, very nice for this granola, because it scrapes the side of the bowl very nicely, so nothing sticks on the side. So we just put it down, and I start slowly, not fast, just on slow speed, until everything is like well combined. So you see, when everything is like kind of a bit enrobed with the honey, the sugar is mixed in, all the oats and the nuts are mixed well together, that's when you can stop it. So it doesn't take long, not even a minute, I would say. Everything is well combined, because the scraper really scrapes it nicely from the side of the bowl into the middle, and it's already done. So I show you what it should look like. Can you see? Yes. That's what it should look like. Yes, it's crumbly, but all enrobed with the sugar and the honey. That is what it should look like. And then I'm going to take a little bit vanilla. I'm using a vanilla extract, so it's not a vanilla flavor that you find in these cheap little bottles, because that will give you a very bitter aftertaste sometimes. It tastes very artificial. This vanilla extract is natural. It's 100% natural. It's made from vanilla pods, so it doesn't have this bitter aftertaste, especially after baking. It doesn't taste bitter like this artificial flavor sometimes taste. So I'm going to add this as well. And that's it. So sound is gone. No sound. I'm off. I talk a bit louder. Just don't get a fright if the sound comes back on, then it might be a bit too loud. So you see, it's full. I'm back. It's full of seeds, it's full of nuts. It's like really, like, you can imagine already how crunchy it will become, right? And all you need to do now is spread it on a baking tray, not too thick, just like a thin, even layer. You spread on the baking tray, and you bake it at like 180 degrees until it becomes golden brown. And I can't tell you really a time, because every oven is a little bit different. Some ovens might need 15 minutes, some needs 18, you know. Just go by eye. When you see it's nice and golden brown, then you stop, you take it out from the oven, you add your cranberries to it, you add the raisins to it, and the apricots. Of course, the apricots, not as a whole one, just chop them like in little pieces. Just like this size. So it gives you a nice fruity flavor in the granola. So on top of the nuts and the crunchiness, you have also a little bit fruits. And that only goes in after baking, never before, because you don't want to burn it. Once it is baked on 180 degrees, golden brown, it should look like this. You see, I made a big package already. So I can even smell it. It's like you smell it probably as well in the first row. So you see the cranberries are in, the apricots are in. That is just what it looks like after baking. So all I did, baking tray in the oven. But in order to do more recipes and show you more today, I have prepared it. But there is no trick to it. Baking tray, 180 degrees until it's like nice and brown. Yeah. So the second recipe I'm going to make with you, that is going with the granola, is the yogurt. For the yogurt, I just want the yogurt to become a little bit creamier. So what I'm going to do is I'm adding cream to it and also vanilla, just for the flavoring. And this one is finished. We wash that quickly a little bit. Quick and easy to clean. So I'm putting first the whipped cream in my mixing bowl. I have whipped cream here in the chiller. When you use whipped cream, try and find in the supermarket a good quality, because you will really taste the difference and you will also feel it in the stability. What I mean with a good whipped cream, how do you know it's a good whipped cream? You check first the percentage of fat that it has. It should never be below 35. This one here is 35.1, what is the standard amount of fat for a whipping cream. Also, check that it is dairy cream. You find a lot of creams these days that says with vegetable fat, or so-called non-dairy creams. They are very stable. In certain cases, they are good to be used for some recipes. But if you want a really tasty outcome, if you want to make a nice cream, a nice mousse, I would always recommend like a dairy whipped cream with minimum 35% of fat. That is usually a good one. I specifically like this brand because it's very stable. So it means when you whip cream, and sometimes you don't use it right away and you put it in the chiller, or you leave it on the side because you want to serve it with a cake when you have friends coming over later. You see it starts like separating. There's usually water on the bottom. You experience that as well, right? It's very common. I never had it with this cream. I couldn't believe it in the beginning. I whipped it. I left it for 24 hours in my chiller. There was not a bit of water in the bottom. So that for me was like, okay, I want this one. That's why I use that. Now I'm going to scale the cream that I need. So I'm going to use 500 gram. That should be enough. I think everyone wants to try. Maybe a bit more. 600 gram. Then I'm going to add a little bit icing sugar to it. So for the icing sugar, I would say about 100 gram. So I put the scale back on 0 and I scale directly 100 gram of icing sugar into my bowl. The scale is very nice. It goes like in 1 gram steps. So you don't need to vary. Some scales do only 5 gram steps. This one is like very accurate. So I put 100 gram in. And then again, I'm going to add a little bit vanilla to it. So you could either use like this vanilla paste, again that's made from vanilla beans, or if you don't mind, because some people like the fresh vanilla beans, I'm always a big fan of it, but I know they come with a little price tag on it. It's expensive, right? But I love the smell of it. I call it black gold. It literally is black gold, not just because of the price, but so if you have the vanilla pot, the easiest is always if you cut it in half. Just like this. And then take the 1/2 and scrape the seeds out. You see, this is what I call the black gold. This is just like nice vanilla seeds that gives you beautiful flavor. Now, when you have scraped it out, don't throw it away. Because you see there's still a little bit seeds inside here, and so much flavor, so much flavor. So you can use it in different ways. What I do is, when I'm going to boil something, like a custard or anything, you can just add it into your milk and boil it with, because there's still a lot of flavor coming out. Or what I also do is I put it in a jar, like similar to this, like maybe a little bit bigger, put it in, all the vanilla pods that you have left over, and add sugar to it, normal caster sugar, crystal sugar, fine crystals, and leave it as long as you want. It gives you the most beautiful natural vanilla sugar. You don't need to buy ever vanilla sugar again if you use just the leftovers of your vanilla pods. The vanilla pods, I know why you asked me that. They become dry in your house, right? That's one thing. It gets very quickly dry in a normal kitchen setup. If you can, wrap them. You saw I have them wrapped in cling film, and put them in a container, like in an airtight container. Close it, and don't leave them too long. If you leave it too long, because we tend to keep it as long as possible because it's so expensive and like the black gold. You can freeze them as well, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Again, just not too long. Not too long. You can't put them in the freezer for a year or something, but if you keep them in there for like 6 months in like a home freezer, it is okay. If they are vacuum packed, like completely sealed, you can keep them easily for 1 year in the freezer. So absolutely no problem. So, as I said, my favorite, fresh vanilla, but if you don't have it, like vanilla paste, it's also made from fresh vanilla pods, but they grind the whole pot, so it becomes a little bit cheaper, so we can add a bit of that as well. Then I'm going to whip the cream. When you whip cream, the cream should always be cold. You get much better result when the cream is cold. Never whip it when it's on room temperature. So when I say cold, I mean somewhere around 5 degrees. So it gives you the best volume. Also, what a lot of people tend to do is this. We go full speed, right? Because we want it fast. Just go a little bit less than that. Half speed. Again, it gives you a better volume, a better stability. So I know sometimes we do that in the kitchen as well because we are under pressure, we don't have much time, we go like full speed, quickly done. The result is much better when you go only half speed, and then rather do something in the meantime. So in the meantime, I prepare the yogurt. I have a big bucket here. Just normal plain full fat yogurt. And I'm going to use 1,200 gram roughly. We have about 600 gram of cream in there. So I'm using double the amount of yogurt, 1,200 gram. Now you can use your Kenwood scale for that. You can scale it directly in the machine if you have it. Now I know this one is 2 kilos. So I just use half and a little bit extra. So that's about 1,200. That's why I said, everyone thinks like pastry has to be so accurate and baking so accurate. You see, I don't even have a scale. So, experience. That means we need to do a lot of baking. So I just mix it, just so it's smooth. You don't have any lumps inside, right? So it's done. Want me to check? Not ready yet. That's when we all tend to go like faster. We want it ready, right? But it's almost done. I'd rather give it a little bit extra time and have a good result. Because patience in baking is another thing that makes it or breaks it sometimes. Okay? You agree? We need to be patient, yeah? Okay, so we wait a little bit longer. Any questions so far? Everyone okay? Simple and easy? What's your question? Wait, I come to you. Then I can hear you better. Tell me. When can we eat? Oh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. I would say we probably need another 10 minutes. Is it okay or not? You're very hungry? Okay, I speed up. I hurry up, yeah? No? Okay, then I take my time. Okay. Okay, we make it perfect? Okay. So when we whip cream, regardless if you use it for a mousse or now I'm going to add it to my yogurt, you never want it like fully stiff. Because if it is fully stiff, it's very difficult to incorporate it and you will have these lumps of cream. And as more as you mix and try to get these lumps out, as easier it will split and the fat will separate and you have like pieces inside. It doesn't taste nice anymore, it doesn't look nice. So we stop whipping it when we see it's like semi-stiff, semi-whipped. You see, this is what it should look like. So it's not fully stiff, but it's fluffy.
Another 10 minutes.
Another 10 minutes? No, that's too much. So you see the cream is still a little bit runny. So if I put it over here, it runs out, but it's not liquid anymore. So I take a little bit, usually I would say about a third, and I'm going to fold it in. Folding in always with this movement because you're trying to keep as much air as possible in your cream. Yeah. And now because I have already sugar in my cream, there's a little bit icing sugar inside, right? And the vanilla. Also my yogurt will become a little bit sweeter and it's not just sour anymore. So, and we put the rest inside. Also fold that in. So we have a very nice creamy yogurt that is a little bit fluffier than normal yogurt. Oops, I'm spreading it. Here we go. And that's it. Now we're going to fill it in the container. I have it here. And where did I put? No. You see, that's what happens if it's not your own kitchen. You can't remember where you put things. In your own kitchen, you know exactly where everything is, right? It's like one, and there it is. Okay, I take a piping bag. If you have a husband, then it's very good. You can use him for that. Hold it. That's what I do with my one, right? I just tell him, hold it. So he stays out of the kitchen, he hates cooking, but for something like this, very useful. If you don't, then this one does also that trick. So I fill it in my piping bag. And fill a little bit more in. Also, I recommend to don't fill the piping bags like to the top. Again, with experience, you can maybe fill it a little bit more, but it's easier to handle when it's not so full. Then I close it. Just cut the tip off. and then I'm going to fill it. So today I decided on jars, just because it looks nice, and it's also easy to put the lid on, right, as a snack, takeaway, lunchbox, whatever you have in mind. So first I put a bit of yogurt.
Okay. It looks like icing on a cake.
It looks like icing on a cake.
Yep.
I think you're right.
White
White icing? Okay, we need a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to add the granola to it. Our main ingredient. When you finish with the granola, you baked it, always keep it like in airtight containers, because otherwise it gets soggy. But once you keep it in an airtight container, there's absolutely no issue keeping it for a week, even 2 weeks, no problem. So when I make it at home, I always make like quite a bit, like a full recipe, because it goes very quickly. It's like, it's gone within a couple of days because everyone loves it. I can see a lot of hungry faces here in front of me. Like, want to try it. Was it easy so far, or you think it's difficult? It's easy? You can do it at home?
Yes.
Yes?
Because we've got a goodie bag and there's a Kenwood machine inside me.
Wow. I don't think the Kenwood machine is in a goodie bag. But I know that Kenwood has been very generous and is giving everyone 20% off today. So if you want the Kenwood machine, they give you 20% discount today.
Wow.
Yes.
We have the whipping machine also.
But they said to me only today, because I said, okay, I want like one for my birthday, and they said, no, only today.
What for your birthday?
So, and we do a big one as well. One for the picture. Look like nice clusters, chunks of crunchy granola. A little bit more yogurt in this one. the last bit. There we go. Then I'm going to add some fresh berries to it, because if you have a little bit fruit inside, you can see, you can use sweeter fruits like mangoes or something. I actually like berries very much because they have a little bit acidity, and you have sweetness in the granola, and the acidity, especially from raspberries or something, it breaks the sweetness nicely. So we're going to add a little bit of berries. One, two, three, four, five, six. And some blueberries as well. Some more. Okay, so and something green on for the color. Do you like green? So normally you would use mint or something, right? There's also a lot of micro herbs now on the market, easily available. I use lemon balm. It's like got a beautiful fresh smell, and it also goes very nice with it. It reminds me always a little bit of like lemongrass. And that's it. So just the decoration. Any questions? Over. Everyone okay with making it? Super easy, right? Really, really not difficult. In the next class, we're going a step up. But I thought I'd rather show you something that you can actually make at home, where nobody gets scared and they're like, oh my God, I can't even find the ingredients, or it's so difficult to make or something. People get easily scared. So I don't want you to get scared. I want you to feel like it's easy to make. And I think it's very easy to make. So let me put a spoon in so you can actually try it. Who wants? Of course you want it. You said to me earlier you want it. You kept the ice on it? Okay, then you should come now and get one. Which one you have kept your eye on? That one or that one?
I kept the one which has more berries.
More? More berries? Which one has more berries? I counted them.
Wow.
I'll put one in every.
Good.
Yeah? I think they all have the same in. They all have the same. Choose one. Which one you want?
This one.
That one?
Yes.
Okay, you tell me if it tastes good.
Alright.
Okay? If you say it doesn't taste good, I have to take it all back. We can't give it to the others if it's not good.
Good.
It's good? Oh, okay. Now you can have it. My assistant say it's good. I have the lids here, but I don't think anybody wants to take it home, right? You all want to try now. So let me come over to you. Come, try. Thank you. Tell me. Come. Thank you. Grab one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Me and my friend.
Who wants? Please take. Let me just put that on the picture. Where's the lid? Sorry? You're welcome. Okay, where is Anupama? Anupama! So you do want to take it home? So what do you think? Tastes nice? Better than the one you buy in the supermarket? It's خلاص. Sorry. So it's relatively easy to make, right? It doesn't take much time. You can make it at home, like literally in half an hour with the yogurt.
How many days I can keep it in the fridge?
With the yogurt inside.
Okay, without the yogurt.
Because the moment you layer the granola and the yogurt, the granola will become soggy, right? So the granola you can make beforehand and keep it like in an airtight container. And you can keep it in an airtight container easily for 1 week or 2 weeks. Just like I back home, I have like a Kilney jar, you know, the one with the rubber seal, and I just lock the jar, and I keep it in there for a week or 2 weeks, and it stays fresh. But it has to be like airtight, so it doesn't have too much humidity, right? If you do that, then no problem. Then you can keep it like 2 weeks, and then the yogurt, just make it as you need it, because it's so quick and easy, right? Okay, I clean up a little bit and then we can go to the next recipe. Cream. Okay, I just let me clean the bowl quickly so we have it ready for the next dish. Yes.
Quantity of the honey. How much honey?
The honey was 225 gram,
And pistachio
50 gram.
and the cranberries and the apricot.
Cranberry is 75 gram.
Okay.
Wait, I tell you. Yes, 60 gram apricots. And
apricots,
yeah, 60.
And
And 100 gram raisins.
they're all different quantities.
Yeah. Okay, I see everyone is finished. Okay, you finished eating. I'm finished cleaning, so we can go to the next recipe. Thank you. Okay, so the next recipe, we're stepping it a little bit up. Yes.
Can I ask you?
Yes.
Can we make this like a chewable kind of like a bar stick?
A bar,
Yeah.
like in a mold or?
No, just you bake in the baking dish and
Yeah.
slice.
No,
No.
no, it's not stable
there's no
enough.
fat.
No, it's not about the fat, but granola is not stable enough. So you either need to put egg to it or you need to put much more sugar. If the sugar caramelizes, then it will hold it together, or you have to add egg to it or flour to it or something. So then you can bake it as a bar. But again, the yogurt is not stable enough, right? Because it doesn't have any gelatin or something inside, so it will also run.
And you can add coconut also?
Yes? If you like coconut, put coconut. Any nut is fine.
Or if you want to make vegan, you can make the coconut yogurt and you put the same one.
Yes.
because Nothing, honey
Yes.
you can skip.
Yeah. Honey you can escape. If I want to make it vegan, the granola, use maple syrup instead of the honey. You know that works.
Yeah. It's so different.
Thank you. So for the next recipe, we're going to make a tart. A nice tart with some fresh fruits. Yes. What kind of tart? What flavor? We make different flavors. We make mango. We can make strawberry on there, raspberry, blueberry. Like we make loads of different flavors, and you can choose which one you prefer. Okay? You want mango or strawberry? Yeah. I make both. Yeah. Okay. So mango. You take mango. Okay, I make mango as well. Mango, strawberry, raspberry, all different flavors. Yeah. Okay. Thumbs up. Good. Let's start. So what I'm going to do for the tart is a base. The base is called the sablé breton. Sablé breton comes from French. It sounds very French already, right? Sablé is basically means sand, and it's the French version, I would say, of a short crust, of a short base. So the only difference is in England they call it a short base or a short crust, short bread. In France, they call it sablé breton because it comes from the area Bretagne, and in the Breton area, they are very famous for their butter, and because it's very close to the sea, the butter is usually salted. So they either do it with salted butter or they add sea salt to it. But the translation of it is basically fine sand. So a sablé breton, it should be like a little bit sandy, dry. It's like a dry shortbread version. But it has salt inside and a lot of butter, of course, because that's what Bretagne in Brittany in France is famous for. It's their butter with sea salt. So to make that, I have the basic ingredients here, all prepared. And what we need is sugar, flour, of course, French butter. That's the French butter I'm using. Again, similar as with the cream, butter needs to have a certain percentage of fat. And what you usually find in the supermarkets is like 80 to 82%. So as higher the fat content, if it is like at 82, it's usually a good butter. And as fresher the butter is, as fresher it is processed, the milk needs to be processed very fast. You will taste it in the butter. So this one usually from when the milk is collected from the farmers, because this comes from a corporation of farmers in France. So when the milk is collected to the butter being made, it's usually 2 days maximum. So it's very fresh and you can taste it. So also Sable Breton has baking powder inside because it comes up slightly. So it's not as dense, it's more crumbly. And sea salt, fleur de sel, because the butter that I use in pastry is always unsalted butter. So for baking, I always recommend unsalted butter, and if your recipe requires salt, then just add it to it. And I'm also going to add vanilla, because as you know already, I love it. So what we're going to do first is the butter needs to go into the machine. So scale on. I'm going to add the butter. If you use butter in any recipe, like where you're making a dough or something, the butter should always be room temperature. Don't use cold butter or hard butter because it's very difficult to incorporate the rest of the ingredients. So the butter inside, the sugar inside. Butter is 125 gram, 125, and sugar is 100 gram. Then also I'm going to take the vanilla, half a vanilla stick. Same procedure, I cut it in half. Scrape the vanilla seeds out. I'm going to add it to my butter and sugar mix and keep the stick. Again, you can still boil it or you can put it in a jar for vanilla sugar. Now, a lot of times you see people using this whisk to cream the butter. I don't do that because it incorporates a lot of air. All you want to do with your butter is cream it. So therefore, again, this rubber attachment is brilliant for it because it does not incorporate too much air. It creams your butter and sugar nicely together. So just in it, press down, and again medium speed. Don't go full speed, just medium speed. Slowly, just creaming it together. And you see once all the butter, the sugar and the vanilla is combined, that's when I have to add a little bit egg yolk. You only add 1 egg yolk. I have it here. 1 egg yolk is usually 20 grams. So if we look at an average egg, it's 50 gram, 30 gram egg white and 20 gram egg yolk. So 20 gram egg yolk, 1 egg yolk I'm going to add. I'm using pasteurized egg, not fresh, just because it is safer. Because a pasteurized egg doesn't have the risk anymore of having salmonella inside because it has been heated and the bacteria has died if the process is done correctly. So you see the butter is creamed. Like there's a little bit here on the attachment and it's creamy. But slow mixing so I don't incorporate too much air. Put that back, let it run. And then I'm going to add the egg yolk to it. 1 egg yolk, 20 gram. Just slowly into it. Then we have the sea salt. You can find loads of different ones. I think the most common one you find in the supermarket is like Maldon or something. So just make sure it doesn't have herbs or any flavor in, plain sea salt. also into the butter. And then the baking powder and the flour. You can put both together. What I always recommend, I have done it here already, is sieving it. Because sometimes there's lumps in the flour or in the baking powder. You don't want to have that later in your dough, right? So sieve it before and then add it to your mix so that any impurities or lumps are gone. And then just add it to your mix. And keep on mixing it until everything is combined. Yes? The flour is, 1 second, I tell you, 150 gram. The butter is 125 gram. So 150 flour, 125 gram butter, 100 gram sugar, half a vanilla stick, or if you prefer vanilla essence or extract, that's also fine. 6 gram baking powder and 20 gram egg yolk, 1 egg yolk. So it goes relatively quick, and again, because the scraper scrapes it nicely off the bowl, I don't have to stop in between and push it all back down. You know, you probably know that from baking. A lot of times you have to push it back down. It's all scraped in nicely. And that's what your dough should look like once it comes all together, right? So when it looks like this, what you need to do is scraping it out of your bowl and put it in the chiller. Best is to keep it in the fridge or chiller for minimum 2 hours, because now you see it's relatively soft and it will be quite difficult to roll it now. Also, the flour has not absorbed all the moisture yet, so you scrape it out nicely so your bowl is empty. You have your sablé here. And then what I do is I just wrap it with cling film and keep it in the fridge in the chiller for minimum 2 hours. Ideally overnight if you have the time, but just so it firms up a little bit. Once it is firmed, you can easily roll it. Now, let me clean that a little bit. Okay. So I did the same thing beforehand again. I rolled it, I cut it, and I bake it. Baking temperature again, 180 degrees. You see, I love 180 degrees. You can bake most of it on 180. Except when it comes to bread, then it needs to be much higher temperature. But pastries is usually good on 180. So I bake it again on 180 degrees in the oven until it becomes golden brown. Now there's 2 ways you can do it. If I make a bigger one, like that size, then I roll it and I cut directly and I bake it in the ring. If you make smaller ones, because I made like smaller ones for you to try, but smaller ones are also nice sometimes when you have friends over just as little nibbles and you don't want to serve a whole cake, then I make smaller ones. In that case, I just roll it. I put the whole sheet on my baking tray and I bake it as a sheet until I would say just before it becomes golden brown. So it needs to be like 75% baked. Then I take the sheet out and then I take cutters, just a normal cutter that you know that everyone has at home. And I go in the sheet and I cut it whilst it is warm. It's very simple and easy. But the advantage of that is that it doesn't spread out. If you have the raw dough and you bake it, you cut it and then you bake it, it usually runs a little bit, right? Unless you have small rings in that size, but it runs. To avoid it, I bake it to like 75%, then I cut it, and then I keep on baking it again until it's like golden brown. So I show you what that will look like. Because I've done that beforehand. And you will see the difference. You see on the big one that I have baked in the ring, there is a little edge. I'll show you. You see here there's a little edge on the big one because I've baked it in the ring. Whilst the small one I just rolled out and then I cut it so you don't have the edge. It's just completely flat, right? So that's the only difference between the two. And unless you have a lot of like these small rings, I would say it's easier to just cut it. So now, of course, nobody likes to eat dry base with some fruits on. We need to put something underneath, right? And what is usually the first choice is vanilla. I always love vanilla. So a lot of times you will find like a vanilla pudding underneath, like some sort of vanilla cream, or also called a pastry cream. I thought today we're going to make something a little bit different. I'm going to show you a custard, but not runny, like a normal custard, like you would eat with your pudding or something. We're going to make a set custard. So once the custard is cold, you will actually see it's stable, it's pipeable, it's not runny anymore, and it has like a beautiful smooth consistency. So I'm going to make that quickly with you. I show you how it is done. First, of course, we need a pot. Then we need milk and cream and egg. Then, of course, because you know me by now, vanilla, sugar, and we need to thicken it a bit, what we have the egg for, and also pectin. Pectin is a different way of thickening something. Instead of gelatin, it gives you a much smoother, softer consistency than gelatin. It's not so rubbery. So when you will eat it later, you will see it's like beautifully melting in your mouth almost. And it's very simple to make. So again, for that process, I almost just mix everything together. So we have 500 milliliters of cream, just normal whipping cream.
Whipping cream?
Yes, whipping cream. So this 500 milliliter of cream I'm going to put into my pot. Then I have 75 milliliters of milk, just normal milk. You can use any UHT milk or fresh milk, just the milk to it. And in a bowl on the side, I put 75 grams of whole egg. Again, I'm using pasteurized egg just to be on the safer side. You can find pasteurized eggs these days also in the supermarket already. They started selling it. You can also find it online. Egg yolk, 62 grams, so that's about 3 egg yolks. And then I have pectin. This pectin, there's different pectins on the market. You have pectin NH, pectin yellow pectin, pectin jaune. This one is pectin X58. You can find it online. There's different suppliers. Master Baker Studio has it as an example. The reason why I use this is because I have calcium here and very little sugar. If you want to use pectin NH or pectin jaune, that is usually pectin jaune you would use for a jam where you have a lot of sugar inside and you want to set that. You want to make the jam thicker. In my case here, I don't have a lot of sugar. I only have like a little bit, so it won't set with pectin NH. I'm using pectin X58 because there's calcium inside, and calcium will activate it, so it starts thickening. Now, if I would put the pectin directly into the liquid, it's very likely that you will have lumps. So I mix it with a little bit sugar, just roughly like this. The rest of the sugar I'm going to add into my whole egg and the egg yolk. And the vanilla. Same again here. I'm scraping it out. So into half. Get the seeds out. 1 half. The second half into it. Now here I have a liquid. I'm going to put the pot in as well, because there's a lot of flavor still in the pot. So I want to boil that as well. So the milk, the cream, the vanilla, I start boiling. The egg yolk, the whole egg, with a little bit, like half of the sugar, into a bowl. And the other half of the sugar with the pectin, I just mix together here on the side. So we're bringing this liquid to boil. Again, if you don't want to use vanilla pots because of the price, again, you can also use vanilla extract or vanilla essence. It works as well. That's absolutely no problem. What you also need for this recipe is a thermometer. Just a simple core thermometer. This one I actually bought from IKEA. So it's cheap and easy. It does the job. It works well. So we have that ready on the side, because once the egg is inside, we cannot boil it completely anymore, because the egg will split, right? I'm sure you all experienced that before. When you have egg in something, you bring it to boil, it looks like you have scrambled eggs, right? That's because egg starts to scramble, to coagulate at like 82, 83 degrees, right? So I stop boiling it at maximum 82. You take it directly off the stove so the egg doesn't split, and you just have a nice thick mixture. But because this will split at like 83, 84 degrees, this one I need to boil. I need to bring these two together somehow. That's why it is separated. So first I have the liquid. I bring the liquid to boil. Then I add the pectin to it, and I boil it again, because pectin always needs to boil. You cannot just warm it, it needs to boil to activate. So that's why first this, pectin in, bring it to boil, and only then we add the egg. Otherwise the egg will split if we put it directly from the beginning, right? Any questions so far? No?
No.
No?
Yeah.
I hire you. You become my assistant. You're brilliant. You no questions, you say like it's good. I think I need you. Yeah? Okay. Yes.
When you said you cut it was 75%.
Yes, 75.
Then you put it back inside
Yes.
till it becomes brown. It
Yeah.
doesn't spread after that process. It's
No.
only in the beginning that it will
Yeah.
spread.
Once it is 75% baked and you cut it, it doesn't bake anymore. It doesn't spread anymore. Then it's fine. Then that's why I bake it first 75% and then I cut it. If you would cut it in the beginning, it will spread.
So if you're baking it, it's like you go by the time, or you go by what
Color.
you're looking at.
Color. It's like, because every oven is a little bit different, If I bake it in this oven, it will probably be a completely different time than in your oven or in my oven in the kitchen. So it's very hard to say this is the exact time. I can always give you the temperature, and then just it's measuring by eye. And in baking, it's like when you have a sablé or any dough, then it's usually like by color, like the granola by color. And if it is something like a cheesecake or something that doesn't have color, then you put the stick in, right? And when the stick comes out clean, then it's usually like same with the sponge. You put it in, when it comes out clean, it's not sticky anymore, then it's... I see a lot of baking experience here. You bake a lot? You bake a lot?
I tried to bake, but the same.
Why not?
But she made on the first time just a little bit okay.
He's giving away all your
I love
secrets.
cooking. I do cooking a lot, but
I'm not into baking a lot. I want to learn, but after my failed experience, I have I had made a thought that
Baking is difficult.
Is a gifted. It's a gifted.
You see, I'm here to prove you wrong. It's
But
super
my
easy.
son is pushing me now to learn the baking.
You should come. Yeah, sign up for the online class. It's free. It's
One
in your-
thing you should know, practice makes perfect.
That's exactly what I say. I tell that my students all the time. You are so right. Practice makes perfect. Nobody was born a master, right? You have to practice, practice, practice. I tell my students that all the time. You see, once my cream and the milk is boiling, I'm adding this pectin and sugar mixed to it. And now you bring it back to boil. Because as I said before, pectin needs to boil. You cannot just warm it. So you bring it back to boil. That goes fairly quick. So it boils again. And now I'm going to add it into my egg mixture. So the reason why I make it this way around and not the egg in there, if I would put the egg in there, it will split immediately, right? So we put the stove a little bit lower, the temperature. Now back in here. And I have lowered the temperature on the stove. And now I'm taking my thermometer. That's when the thermometer comes into play. So, and keep on stirring, 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 because it burns very quickly and it will split very quickly if you don't stir. So I checked the temperature. It's already 78. We're going to heat it to 82. Yeah, like a vanilla sauce, scratch recipe. So once it is on 82, I take it immediately off. So 80 degrees, 81, 82. And then directly out of the pot, because you will see if you leave it in the pot now, because the pot is still hot, now you can see it starts splitting, right? So the egg is all scrumbly. That's why directly out of the pot, don't leave it in there. So it is not scrumbly, it's nice and smooth. So you can leave the vanilla pot inside just to give a bit more flavor, because what you have to do next is cooling it down. When I cool it down, I always cover it with cling film. Yeah, so you don't have a skin on top. I see, you do that as well, right? So always the cling film directly on top and then into the chiller, right? Leave it in the chiller, in the fridge, a couple of hours, again, ideally overnight, and you will see it will set completely. Now, I don't want to keep you here overnight, unless you would like to. So I made it before. And you see it's set. It's completely set. So it is a custard, but it's not runny anymore. If anyone would like to try it, I still have some spoons here, so you can feel free and try it. Just come to the front. Okay. Don't be shy. It's worth it. It's really worth it.
Like ice cream.
It looks like ice cream, right?
Looks like ice cream. Let's see how it tastes. I guess it should.
Tastes good?
Yep.
I've got your approval again?
Yep.
Good, chef.
It does look like ice cream.
So what do you think? Nice and smooth? No? It's very creamy, yeah? Very creamy. It doesn't have like, yeah. And it's not like when you set something with gelatin, it can become a bit rubby. Hi.
I do sometimes
put it through the blender also.
With the blender?
Basically,
Yeah.
the cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I make it
So this one, again, it's a relatively easy recipe, right? The ingredients you can all find online. As I said, like the pectin in the supermarket is difficult. I couldn't really find it. But on Master Baker Studio online, I found the pectin, so they have it.
This, you know, Claire?
Yeah.
It's a Claire inside.
Yes, you can use that also for eclair.
Okay. It is.
So now we have the sablé, we have our base, the cream. Now you can top it with any fruits. You can put any berries on top, mangoes on top, mixed fruits, whatever you want, can all go on top. But what I want to do is I want to make like a raspberry gel, like a raspberry cream basically, that we're going to put with our raspberry just to enhance the flavor. And you will see it's also a very simple and easy process, similar to this. That I make with agar-agar. Agar-agar is a thickening agent that is fully plant-based. It's actually from seaweed, so even as a vegan, vegetarian, you can have it. And it's a very, very simple thing. I use raspberry puree. So the raspberry puree also you can find online these days. I know that was so tasty. Good. So I put the raspberry puree into my pot, 500 gram. 500 gram of raspberry puree. Now this raspberry puree I'm going to heat. As I said, I'm going to thicken it with agar-agar. Agar-agar from seaweed, so fully plant-based, a nice thickening agent. Again, the agar-agar I need to mix with my sugar. I don't want it to be lumpy in here. And now I can add it directly into my raspberry puree. I don't need to boil it first. It can go directly in. Yes. What is what? This? Agar-agar. Agar-agar is basically it's seaweed. It's seaweed that you can find either as sheets or as powder. And seaweed is a thickening agent here in this thickening agent. So it makes it thicker. You can use it instead of gelatin. So when you want to make like a vegetarian or vegan jelly, you can use your fruit juice, your fruit puree, whatever, and instead of gelatin, you just thicken it with agar-agar. So then it's fully vegetarian or vegan. So you need to bring this to boil, because again, agar-agar only reacts once you heat it up. So you can add it to the cold liquid, but you have to heat it after that. So once it is heated and boiled, you have to cool it down again. Now that takes again a couple of hours. You can put it in the chiller or overnight. I've done that again. So you see here, once it has boiled, I'll put it back in a plastic container. This is just a little bit water here now, but it's jelly, it's hard. That is what agar-agar does. It's a thickening agent. So it's basically like gelatin. It makes it like very hard. It sets it completely. So
But we can use the gelatin.
I show you now how to use it. You cannot replace it one-to-one with gelatin. If you have a recipe that asks for normal gelatin, you cannot just take the gelatin off and put agar-agar inside. It doesn't work. Because the thickening power, the strength of gelatin and agar-agar is not the same. It's different.
How many grams of agar?
It depends on how thick you want it, and it depends on how liquid your product is. You see the puree, like a mango puree or raspberry puree, is not as thin as water, as an example, or orange juice. So here you would probably use a little bit less. Like if you want to thicken water, probably 12 to 15 gram. On this one, when it's not so thick, not so thin, probably 8 to 10 gram per liter of liquid. So you can see how hard you want it, you know, now this one, it's not too hard because I show you what I'm going to make with it now. So once it has boiled, I just put it in a container and in the chiller. Overnight, just like this, or a couple of hours, and it will come out like this. It's nothing else, exactly the same thing. I just did that yesterday. So, and you see it's really, really fruity. It's a lot of fruit. There's not any other ingredients in, so when you eat it, it tastes like very, very fruity, very intense fruit flavor. So now I'm going to take this jelly that I made yesterday with the agar-agar. Just cut it a little bit smaller. And you put it in this Kenwood blender. Any simple blender that you can use for smoothies, you know. So Kenwood has a lot of different blenders, but they all work. So you don't need a specific model or something, or a specific attachment. They all work. I tried it with many different ones of them. So, and I'm just going to add this into the blender. And what I'm also going to add is 20 gram of lemon juice. 20 gram lemon juice in here. Yes. Sorry, do I know what? That's a beautiful name. Very nice. You have any siblings? You have brothers or sisters? You have brother? What's his name? It's also a very nice name. Your surname is Aga.
So she's relating it, I guess, with
To the agar-agar. So the raspberry puree that I have here, that's 200 gram. I'm just adding it. If you don't want it too runny, you just reduce it to 100 gram. And now I'm going to take all of this. I just put it on the blender, the lid on top, and I just start blending it. Just stir a little bit so it's all well mixed in, you don't have any more pieces. And full speed. You can see it starts going inside, so there's everything well blended. Then we need a piping bag again. Just double checking that you have no more pieces, that everything is nice and smooth. And I'm going to fill it in the piping bag. You see how thick it was in the beginning, and now it's like really smooth and creamy. So in my piping bag. And we have our set custard. That one I just put into a bowl and I mix it a little bit. So just to make it a bit more pipeable. So you see now it's a little bit softer and I can easily pipe it. So we will need a little bit more. That's it. Again, into a piping bag. Now this time I put like a nozzle in the piping bag so it comes out nice and round. For that, I just cut the piping bag a little bit more open than usual so that my nozzle can go easily in. Right? And it comes out. Now, if you want to fill something inside and you don't want it to come out, you twist it, push it in, and that's it. Then you can easily fill it in and it does not come out anymore. Fill it in the piping bag. Let me use this beautiful stand. So we put first the vanilla cream on. I just start piping a nice layer from the middle to the outside. There we go. Then we take some nice berries. So this one we can make raspberry. And then we make some smaller ones for everyone to try. Want to come and help me? Yeah? Come. If you help me, we are much faster. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you put some on as well. Look, all like in a line. All like this.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, perfect. You can become a chef.
I can become a chef anytime.
Anytime?
Yep.
Okay, I teach you, yeah?
Yep.
Come.
It would be even faster.
Come here. Can you put them all in line? Yes. But always with the hole on the bottom, huh? We don't want to see the hole. We want to see the nice fruits. Yes. And then the next line.
So line.
Yes.
Like cover the whole raspberry.
Okay. Can you reach? I squeeze one in there, and here we squeeze one in. Okay, next line.
Like squeeze the whole space.
We put another line.
Oh, you have to like
We need to fill it up all the way.
no gap.
No gap, no.
It's kind of wiggly. That's the part of the fun.
You'll have 3 hands.
We
All
have-
hands, all hands.
All hands?
Yeah.
Come on, all hands.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Cover this up?
Okay, let me cover that quickly.
Cover it.
Okay. You put one in the middle. That's it. Okay, you can eat that one. Or we squeeze it in there. Yeah. Okay, perfect. No more. That's it.
This looks cool.
Yeah? Now we put a little bit from our raspberry gel on there. Right, like this. And then we can put a little bit decoration on.
The decorations are cool.
You want to try the decoration?
I can see this decoration.
Okay, I'll give you a piece.
Let's see. Is that for eating the decoration?
Wait, we have to be very careful.
What eating decoration?
You have to be very careful with it, so you don't break it.
Yep. Okay.
Put this on. Wait. You want to try a piece?
Yep.
You can try. No, we don't put it on. It's already enough on there. But you can eat it. Tell me if it tastes nice.
Wow, they're chocolate.
It's chocolate, yeah? Okay. And then we just decorate it with a little bit lemon zest. There we go. Just let me put it on the side because there's a little bit warm here from the...
Can you just hold it for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Look at me, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to finish it off just with a touch of gold. Because at the end of the day, we are in Dubai, right? And we need some gold. So I have some real gold here. That is edible, the gold. Okay, so this one is for pictures, and now I make small ones for everyone to try, yeah? This is the same one but in small. So we're making small ones now so everyone can try it. Okay? Because this one is only for the picture, and the small one is to eat.
I make pastry cream all the time.
Yeah.
But I add at the end a piece of butter, maybe. This is kind of different than what I make.
The butter also makes it a little bit smoother in the pastry cream.
Shiny. This is
Yeah,
some sheen.
It gives some shine and it gives it a nice mouthfeel. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah. But also, the pastry cream still has a little bit different consistency than this.
Yes, it's
Because,
more like custard like. This one I like the texture of.
yeah.
Where do you give classes, if I may ask?
In GLT, Richmond Master Baker is in Jumeirah Lake Towers, in Cluster E. And we do like short courses from like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, up to like 3 weeks and 6 weeks. So in the short courses we cover.
I make pastry all the time, but it would be nice if I go with a professional.
Check on our website, like, or check the online classes in the goodie bag. You know, there's our address. So
Do a one-on-one
sometimes you're lucky and the classes are not full. Then you might be lucky and it's only 1 or 2 students. But our classes generally are very small. We don't take big classes. Normally, I would say the classes are somewhere maximum around 6 to 8 people. We take a maximum of.
I like that.
We take
Maybe
a.
I'll get lucky, like you said.
We take a maximum of 12 students in the class, but then we have 2 teachers. But on an average, I would say after COVID, and we try to keep it a bit smaller. So I would say on an average, it's about 6 people in the class. So it's
I
still.
do some grape leaf and squash stuffing classes,
Yeah.
and I do the character and stuff like this.
Just leave it at
I
that.
haven't done like pastry.
You should check it out. Come and check it out, and you can also just come and visit us. Come over for coffee, you know.
Yeah, I would love to.
Come over for coffee, have a look at the school, you know, meet the team. So also sometimes it's just about exchanging ideas.
I recommend it because I have a lot of followers. They ask for pastry classes, so I might like refer them to you guys.
Come over, have a coffee. I'll make it. I make this one. I make alone, yeah. Because you see, I have gloves on. Because this one is for eating. Yes. Of course. You need to leave. No, you can't even taste it.
You're much taller.
Should I go down and you go up?
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's make some for everyone to try. If you have any questions, please start asking me whilst I'm preparing for you the sample. I can answer some questions. Oh, be careful, this is hot here. No questions?
No question.
I cannot believe nobody has questions. That's like very unusual. Either you are shy or all ready to eat. Yeah, I'll make more there. Don't touch it.
You know what, Chef? Most of the people here are foodies.
I like foodies. I'm a foodie.
I love the. It's just like icing on ice.
No, this is.
Just like icing.
It's like icing, yeah, but it's.
I like how the sound it's making. Like that sound. Whenever it's like that.
Okay, we start with some raspberries.
Ooh, berries. My raspberries.
We start with raspberry.
Wait, what? Yep. You're gonna
Yeah.
Aren't you gonna put, I like berries. Are you also gonna put the chocolate over there?
No, the chocolate only for the big one.
Chocolate only for cakes. But not for this tart. A fruit tasty berry tart. Do you know I have a bakery game? Unicorn. But some the special ones and rare ones are locked. I can't open them.
Okay, you play that?
Yeah, I'll play all of them. It's unicorn.
I don't.
Oops, a berry fell down.
Okay, we put it in the middle.
Like a game.
It's like a game?
Yeah.
I don't know that game.
My brother also has. But my brother is different. My brother he does not have he does not have the locked ones. All of them free.
All of them are free?
Yeah. Except
Oh, wow.
for mine. We both have iPads instead of computers.
Okay. We also put some blackberries and some blueberries.
Japanese sister or brother. I have a brother. Oh wow! Blackberries. Blackberries are all my favorite products.
That's your favorite ones?
Blackberries are so sour. The blackberries are even tasty. Not sour. I never tried all these berries. I tried blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. And I like them all. Have you tried vegetables? Vegetables, I have tried thousands of them and corns? What? Did you try corns? Yep, I like that. After this, you're gonna put the blueberries?
Yeah, blueberries we put as well. We can make some more here with blueberries.
Wow, people like blueberries. I like blueberries the most. You can also take the raspberry one and blueberries are better than anything. Can we help you?
No, I'm good, thank you. I want you to
Just
eat.
a little bit done. They are just a little going to the restaurant to eat.
Okay.
Okay. But that very amazing. Right, the chocolate.
Okay. So now we put some herbs again.
What is this? Mint?
No, this is like
Truth tea.
fila herbs.
Syllables? Kind of a funny word. They are tender things. Wow. Oh my god.
Just a
Are you
bit
gonna
green.
put it all in different or same?
No, we all put them.
All in one.
They all get a bit green on.
We're gonna get
Huh?
same. They were just a little bit. You're gonna put something on this one?
Yes, there we put also something on.
Blueberries.
Yeah.
Mint? That's not mint.
Where are you going?
Okay. So if you want to try, come and take the first ones.
Wow. I'll try. These are edible? Are these edible?
Yes, it's all edible.
And I'll tell you something.
Tell me.
I expect that this would be very tasty.
It's very tasty. You think so? Try.
Let's see.
What's the green?
It's a fila crest. It's like, look, tendril piece. It tastes like, try it. It tastes like
My
a,
hand.
very, yes.
It's very sweet.
It's like baby piece. Like it's a kind of sweet, like small piece. Take one. Try it.
You wouldn't think to put it on the top. So good. That's so nice.
But it adds a bit color to it, and it's different than the usual mint or something. You know. Take one. Try it, please. I keep on making more. What's you?
Can I take a plate?
Yes, take
I
it.
don't want to lean over.
So now,
Come, I'll make some more.
Which one do you want? This or this?
Thank you. You're welcome. Let me make some more. I think we still have a little bit cream.
hurry up. My mom needs one.
I'll make some more.
Good.
It's good?
Yeah, the leaf.
Can you put mix?
Mixed berries?
Yes, I have mix. If you can. Only these two mix. Okay, okay.
I'm going to be ready here. I want to. Please give one to me, please. Can you put blueberries?
Blueberries?
Yeah.
One is blueberries.
Blueberries are perfect to try.
This one is blueberries. So,
Can I have a picture with you?
Sure.
I'm just running late. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
So sorry, and I'll definitely coming to your.
You should. You should
school.
just
Yeah,
come
because
over.
I love baking.
Come for coffee just to say hello, you know,
Yeah,
like have a
you are
chat.
the reason why I'm here. Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Such a
So
pleasure
glad-
meeting
and I
you.
really enjoyed it. Definitely going to try these recipes.
Please, please, anytime you're free, just come over, say hello, have a coffee with us.
I'm coming. Thank you.
Picture with your chef if it's okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you. Thanks for coming. Anyone has any questions?
Can you give me that leaf?
Which one?
The leaf,
The leaf you want? Okay, I have another one.
questions. Nobody has
You want
questions.
to try this one?
Everybody understood everything and they don't have questions.
No questions?
No questions. Completely.
That's like amazing.
You made it so simple that they don't have any questions.
And I like
But I
pictures.
told you, it's everyone thinks baking is so difficult and it's like so
But
much
it's
science and
very
cooking is
easy.
much easier, but it's not true. Because I started cooking, right? I did 3 years education in cooking, and I'm telling you, like baking is so much easier. It's so much easier.
Baking is easy when these Kenwood machines and without those Kenwood machines.
That's right.
When they're without the Kenwood machines, practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect,
Complete.
and the
right.
Kenwood machine helps you.
Yeah.
You see, because I can't have an assistant like you all the time, so I have the Kenwood machine. Because the Kenwood machine does the job. Right? If you come, then I don't need a Kenwood machine. But you're not there. Of course, I come. Come, we hold the cake. Okay, you're welcome. Of course.
So when are we going to try the cake?
I love German. One here.
I have been in Germany many times.
Which part have you been to?
Munich,
Munich? Down to the south.
Garmisch,
Yeah, Garmisch-Partenkirchen.
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt. So you only been to the south. You need to come to the north. I'm from Hamburg.
Hamburg. Yeah.
Hamburg is
Maybe
like
next time, inshallah.
from the sea. Inshallah. Inshallah. It's beautiful there. Very clean.
Can we have a selfie together?
Sure.
So would anybody like to try cake?
Not this one. This one is from a picture.
Oh yeah. Picture time. Everybody bought pictures.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure with you. Thanks for coming. Thank
The
you.
time is running out.
This mixie, the dough mixer for sourdough bread.
Honestly, this is one of the strongest mixers you can find. So if you want to bake at home, like for sourdough bread, I would use nothing else than that. And that's like my honest opinion. It's like, because before it was always like, there's another one, right?
Thank you. Just 1 second. You take it. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I think it was a lot of thanks for being here and being such a nice audience. And yeah, you really enjoyed it. Yeah, we too. Yeah, and thanks to the Jashanmal team for organizing this along with the Kenwood team. And thanks to Chef Christiane. I know she's busy, but it was an amazing event. And thanks everyone for coming. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And look forward, we will keep doing more events. Okay, so do follow our Instagram page, Kenwood UAE. And yeah, look forward to have you more. Yeah, thank you. Bye. 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 Bye.
So we're gonna take the videos.